Today I'm discussing the most important point for any parent who's thinking about their teenager or their kid's career, about their future, about the meaning that they have in life, and anyone who wants their kid to develop into a powerful and capable human being in this world. I'll discuss the advice that parents normally get for how to guide your kid into a career, the issues with that, and then introduce a totally different way of thinking about things. It's really targeted to make more super people, more very capable people in this world, because God knows we need them. If you are currently in the process of helping your kid plan out a career, make sure to pick up the free 4-part Lantern mini guide. I'll leave the link in the description. It takes about 3 hours, again, completely free, and you don't even have to give me your email. Just take a look at it. Now, let's look at some of the common advice that parents get to help their kids succeed, especially in school, a career, picking out majors, that kind of a thing. So if you're a parent, you obviously want your kid to succeed. But there's an issue that the advice that we generally hear for success. There's two main pieces of advice that we hear, two general theories as to how to give your kid good financial and career success. The first is to be practical. Right now, a lot of that advice focuses around getting your kids into the trades. The second piece of advice is follow your passions. This kind of discounts the role of money and says what's really important is for your kid to do what they love to do. And to be fair, I've seen both work. Essentially, be practical is better advice for lower and middle class families where things like paying your bills and being able to buy a house someday, these are really actually important concerns. And follow your passion might be a little bit better suited to upper class families that don't necessarily need to worry about money. Of course, if you are rich and you do follow your passions, a lot of times you can spin this into something very profitable. So obviously, the more resources you have, the more just flexibility you have in life. But both of them miss the major element that I think makes a life a successful life. And I think once I explain it, you'll agree with me. So to see what is wrong with these two pieces of advice, let's first take a look at the values that are underneath them. What exactly are we setting our kids up to value in life by telling them to, hey, go to the trades because it's practical, they make a lot of money, or, otherwise to just do what you love, little Johnny. So I have been in education for about 10 years. I've seen the downsides of both approaches. If you are looking for more of this real advice on helping your kids to succeed, consider liking this video and subscribing. The issue with Be Practical is that it emphasizes stability as the number one value above everything else. In other words, it is a fear-based approach. Like the tactic says, the main goal of your education, your jobs, your professional career, this huge chunk of your life and your impact on the world, the main goal here is to make sure you never miss rent. That is the main thing you should be thinking about. Which, look, you don't want to miss rent. You do want to be able to provide for your family. You don't want to be stressed out about money issues. You want to have plenty of money in the bank, an emergency fund, etc. These things are all well and good. And in fact, I think they're a very important part of a healthy life. So nothing wrong with it as far as it goes. But is this the main goal? Is this the highest value that we can inspire our kids to achieve? They have this one beautiful, perfect opportunity at life. They have one chance, as a life to make things happen in the world, to make some kind of an impact. And the main thing that we want to teach them is make sure that you can pay your electric bill, little Johnny. Is that it? Can we not think of something higher and better to inspire our kids to be? Again, this is a fear-based approach, but life is just not safe. I'm sure you've heard the news, but none of us make it out of this alive. So maybe there's something better that we can aim towards. Likewise, there's this other piece of advice, follow your passion, an issue with that too. The issue is that passion, I think, is often conflated or confused with having fun. So follow your fun or follow your play, follow what you enjoy doing. But many of the things that are fun and that are play are really games, things like art, music, sports. Again, people can do great things with these. They can inspire others. They can even make a bunch of money. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. They are, in fact, the finer things of culture. Some would argue that this kind of beauty and art that we can create is what makes life worth living. But they are essentially play. So considering them as a career, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but you should second guess it. You should be careful about this. Just because you like doing something doesn't mean it's a good career. They offer beauty sometimes and some kind of ephemeral value or entertainment, which is why it's so classically hard to get a job by pursuing something that is fun. For anyone who's not financially independent, or for people worried about an unstable future with climate change, geopolitical conflict, and AI coming down the pike, AI especially messing up art and music and anything that we think of this as a career or making money, fun might just not cut it for your kid. Follow your passion, follow the money. They both have serious limitations, although there is, of course, some role for them in thinking about what you want your kid to do with their life. Both are essentially intrinsically selfish ways of living your life. They're self-focused, focused either on your bank account or on having fun. A higher value to aim towards, and what I would suggest for every parent to think about, is changing the world for the better. As you probably know, our world is not perfect. There's many problems to solve, many issues to work on, and many people have a role in solving big problems. As a parent, you should guide your kid towards one or more of these problems and towards thinking about their career and education in terms of what can I help contribute. Nearly any student can live a truly heroic and adventurous life by setting out on some mission to change the world. I could make hours and hours of videos on all of the benefits of this particular approach. I like to think by analogy as this as a Gandalf-style mission. So if you have never watched Lord of the Rings, Gandalf is a wizard, this old guy that gives Frodo, this little hobbit person, essentially a kid, this quest to destroy a magical ring, to adventure throughout this world, fighting off bad guys and questing towards a volcano against all odds to throw this magical ring in and save Earth. Gandalf, this old wizard, he doesn't look at Frodo and say, just follow your passion. I know you like smoking your pipe and eating tomatoes. That's really what you should do for your career. It's a tomato. That's what your life is all about. It's tomatoes because you like it, He also doesn't say, Frodo, you got to be practical. Like HVAC technicians, they really pay a lot these days. So that's what you got to be focused on with your life. No, that's not what he says. He says, listen, the world needs something right now. You need to go do it. This is an adventure that will define your life. It is fine. It's dangerous. It might be scary. But what kind of a person will that make you? It will make you brave and courageous and make this life something really worth doing. And in the meantime, save the world. What kind of a calling is that? Can you think of anything higher or better than saving the world as a mission? So how do we translate this, Lord of the Rings analogy into a powerful career? So in practice, what you can do as a parent, when issues come up in conversation, talking about climate change, food insecurity, diseases, these could be things in your personal life. I'm sure you have family members who have had some kind of a disease, maybe something they learn about in school, something in the news, even something like, war, nuclear war, these kind of like scary or problematic things. Remind your kid that they can work on solving these issues. That can be a potential path for their life. Inspire them. Remind them that they are powerful, that they can do anything, and let them really believe in themselves. And for each of these issues, solving them is an issue that requires many people. So you shouldn't limit yourself to thinking, hey, I have a big passion for solving this problem, but I'm really more of an art person. No. Art people can go solve that problem, right? Or, I'm not good at math. That's okay. You don't have to be good at math to try to solve this problem. So pretend you want to cure or work on, the issue of lung cancer, right? There's a disease that kills 2 million people every year, one of the major cancer killers. You could be, maybe this is what you're thinking of, a scientist who focuses on treating the disease. This would require a good science education, a PhD, a lot of work ethic, and maybe you think, I'm not that good at school. I can't do that. No problem. These scientists, they need a lot of money. So maybe you're better at just talking to people than doing homework. You can help. You could be a fundraiser, go around to do cocktail events and philanthropy and raise money for cancer research. This doesn't require a degree at all. Or maybe you want to stay local, right? Maybe you are kind of a shy person, want to do something more bureaucratic, someone who's, obsessed over details. You could work on smoking cessation programs in your country. This might require getting an undergrad degree in public policy and health or no degree at all. So there's plenty of just like normal office jobs that really can make a huge impact and solve a bunch of solve problems, change lives, even save lives, as part of this grand adventure in life. Or you could even get rich. Maybe the only thing you care about is money. Fine. Pursue money in a way that also helps. You could do sales for pharmaceutical companies that do lung cancer treatments. So there's many different avenues to work on these really large problems. And with this approach, your kid can aim at something bigger than themselves while finding a stable career and often making very good money. I assure you, the scientist who cures lung cancer will never have to worry about paying rent again. If they show some particular interest in a career, the best way to start is to talk to people doing that career. And with the right approach, you can easily talk to 10 scientists, public health workers, or doctors in the space of just a couple weeks. This can give your teenager inspiration and even personal connections and real help from professionals in the field in their budding career. So if you want a short PDF on the best approach to networking, shoot me an email with the subject line networking, and I'll send that PDF right back to you. And if this video was helpful as a way to just reconceptualize and rethink the best way to approach career and school for your kid, send it to another parent that you think it could help. Thank you for watching, and happy parenting.